Hi there. Welcome to Two Coaches, One Life, where we're on a mission to ignite confidence, health, and joy to make the most of this life. I am Judy Fine. I'm a vocal performance and confidence coach.
And my name is Lenore Jean Shepherd. I am a board certified health and wellness coach and also a licensed clinical social worker. We are so delighted to have you for our inaugural episode. And if I may just say that Judy and I wanted to start this podcast really to enliven what it means to be confident in life, and the healthier that we are, both in our body and in our state of mind, hopefully the better we're going to feel and the more access we have to joy. So that's just a little bit of my perspective. So.
I feel like we're in such tumultuous times where there's so much that's out of our control. Can't control politics, can't control weather, can't control the price of our groceries. The only thing we can control is ourselves, and we can't put that off for a time when the world around us is less tumultuous. That could be 20 years from now or never. So we have to do this now, and we have to do it in a way that elicits joy, which is our ultimate goal. So we're so happy you're here with us.
Yes, very much. Welcome. We also want this to be a space for you to just come, hang out, enjoy, have some laughs. You know, Judy and I don't always take ourselves so seriously. I don't take myself that seriously, I have to say. So we like to inspire laughter as much as we can, and just a sense of just enjoy being you and hanging out, and hopefully just enjoying being with two funky women. I don't know.
You can go to our website, twocoachesonelife.com. That's the number 2 and the number 1, and sign up for our email list to stay on top of what's going on with us, whether it's a new episode, a new blog post, or anything else going on.
Sounds great.
Should we get to our topic?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. Today's topic is listening to your guts. Now, Lenore, I think you have a story pertaining to this.
I have several stories, but the one that I'm going to share is one that I just thought was interesting, and that maybe some people can relate to when we don't tune into that little voice that says, "Don't do that." So many years ago, when I was in school, it was right around the time that Ted Bundy was on trial. So folks were thinking about serial killer and things that had happened. And a friend and I were walking way off campus somewhere, and there was a man who needed some help getting something up the stairs. And we both thought, well, there's 2 of us. Maybe, we can help him get up the stairs. And I remember my gut clenching, thinking, okay, I want to be of help. So why not? So I was the one to go up the stairs to help this guy get something up the stairs, and my friend wisely stayed downstairs. And I just remember being in this apartment thinking, what the F am I doing here? And I remember this person got very close to me and started talking to me, and I thought, okay, danger. And my friend called down to me, and I was able to kind of run around him and get out the door, because then I heard somebody else coming in. So fled down the stairs, and off we went, with my heart racing and me thinking, you silly, silly girl, especially knowing things that can happen out there. We want to assume everybody has good intentions. It's a real wake-up call for me of really needing to tune in when my body is literally screaming at me, don't do this.
Yeah. So, do you have an idea of why you think you didn't do that?
I think it's because I wouldn't have done it if my friend hadn't been there. Somehow knowing there was a somewhat safety in numbers, and there was you need to help somebody because they need your help, as opposed to, wait, you got to keep yourself safe, right? That's really, and I just remember the gut clenching and the heart racing and feeling just, this sort of state of what we call sort of hyper arousal of like, oh, wow. And if I trusted my gut, I would have said, sorry, can't help, kept going,
Yeah. And be okay with, the guilt or whatever.
Guilt and living with that, and just knowing, well, my safety is more important than how someone else feels about me, Yeah. Yeah. That was one of my listen to your gut stories. Never really forgotten that. So,
Apparently.
yeah, tell me about you. What's
I have a bunch too, but the one that I think had the most significant impact on my life had to do with when I was 23 and in a relationship with someone that I was probably growing away from. But I had already begun to really lose myself in this relationship. And he suggested that we get married. And I didn't want to, but I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I said yes.
mm,
And all the way up until I remember the night before our wedding, and it was a small thing, no big deal, but I was in a car with my father, which that by itself was kind of rare. And I told him, I don't even really want to do this. I just want to stay boyfriend and girlfriend. And he didn't have anything. I don't even remember what he said. He didn't say anything. I mean, he wasn't really a great father anyway. But yeah, so I married someone in order to not hurt his feelings so much
mm,
against my own what my own gut wanted.
mm.
Pretty extreme.
Yes, and also I'm gonna claim stereotype of, women being told, "Be the good person, do what sort of society, people, men expect of you." But that must have been what was that like for you just afterwards? Like, how are you feeling about things?
It started maybe 4 year spiral where once you make a decision that's not right for you, every next decision that comes up, they're all kind of not right because they're all on this path that's just wrong. So the
Yeah.
only right decision is trying to find that right path. So I just spiraled, and I remember somewhere near the end of our relationship, um, I told him I think I want to go see a therapist because I did that in high school for a little bit and it was super helpful. She was wonderful. And he got hurt and he said, I don't understand why you can't just talk to me. And so I just never brought it up again. So the spiral just continued. Random people were like out of the blue talking to me about their experience with depression, and I didn't put together it was because they saw something in me. And then the really cool thing is that this person inside me that really wanted to be free was just bogged down in all my junk. That it was like I became so broken that
Mm,
she kind of seeped up through the cracks. And that was really cool because I remember the day I said to my husband, I want to take a break. I learned that day when I heard my voice say, I want to take a break, that I needed a break. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't plan it. It was pretty incredible. And here I was trying to not hurt his feelings. I just hurt him 10 times worse 4 years later. So
mm.
not listening to my gut wasn't good for either of us.
What I would say for that is that your higher self was calling to you, and somehow we have to tune every other voice out when we can tune into
Yeah.
that voice saying, um, no, I need a break right now. And sometimes hearing it, it's almost an alarming sense. That's why I think I can say this as a therapist, partly why therapy can be successful is just the act, both of having a witness, but of just saying something out loud, hearing
Yes.
ourselves reflect on something, right? That
Such a difference.
gets into the heart and soul of who we are. So,
Yeah.
but I just also want to say that it's so true what you said, that one decision that is going against who we are then sort of puts us on a path where,
Yeah.
boggles on that we're just not seeing, thinking, feeling clearly. And really kudos
Yep.
to you that you were able to get out of that, and
Thank
there's going
you.
to be pain that's going to be shared, but ultimately it's growth, right? So,
Yeah. Yep.
in such a powerful way. So, how, if I may ask Judy, how have
Mhm.
you used that experience then to inform how you work with clients, both as a performance voice and confidence coach?
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't really know when I picked this example of not listening to my gut, how perfect it is for that question because I help people sort of unearth the real them. And I know this is not this isn't an accident, but I never really put it together before. But I help people unearth the real person inside them, so that that person can take the reins in their lives. So the most important thing is that we learn to listen to the real heart, soul, whatever inside of us, what that person really wants, and get rid of what other people have taught us we should want, and what we're afraid if we will be bad if we don't want, whatever, just all the shoulds gone, and only what brings us joy, makes us feel a sense of purpose and happiness and all those things. And then use that person to design how you want the next stage of your life to look.
And it's really interesting because it's the voice, right? And it's literally
Yeah.
finding and using our voice, right? So I bet that's a big part of it too. When you find that and you have the confidence to
Hmm.
like use and magnify it, right? That's when people can really literally tune into themselves. I keep musical example.
Yeah. That's what I say. I say I help people find their true voice and unabashedly share it with the world. And that could be as a singer or not. Yeah. Well, what do you think was your takeaway from your experience? Like, how did that impact you as a person and a coach?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've had so many examples. That was a small one, but that taught me that based on my own life experiences, oh, you're doing something again where you're putting someone else's needs above your own. And that's
Mm,
this. So I just remember being very shaken up. Both of us, my friend and I, were both very shaken up. And of course, you start going into the what if scenarios. What if I hadn't
yeah.
gotten there? Someone else was coming in. He was almost blocking my exit, right? And I had to pull myself out of that. And I think for me, Judy, is I had to forgive myself. And that's a really hard road
Mm,
to get to, of you did this to yourself. There may have been some earlier trauma, but you did this to yourself. So, forgive
yeah.
yourself and move on. So I think in learning from that, what I now bring to hopefully um, both first to myself and clients is being very intentional about when we're paying attention to what's happening. My clients hear me say this all the time: the body doesn't lie. The body is where we go to for our source of wisdom. And
Mm,
before we're going to do something that maybe we're having some sense of ambivalence about, is thinking, what does my wisest self say? Right? What what
yep.
what does that lead me to? And as someone who is very much on the spiritual path, I do feel that a lot of times in life we are choosing between love and fear. Right? Those are two sort of
Yes.
very opposing things. So, and it's something that I do, and then I bring up to my clients, is what would love do in this situation? Look
Yes.
at yourself, taking care of
Yeah.
oneself. And so I try and bring some of that, hopefully that sense of knowing to light. And I also use an example. Gavin DeBecker wrote this fabulous book, I want to say about 20 something years ago, called The Gift of Fear. I believe he was in law enforcement. And what it was is about when the body is telling you no, no, it's screaming at you, but we do a yes instead, right? And I use that because, you know, as someone who really focuses a lot on digestive health, spend a lot of time talking about the vagus nerve. It's sort of this two-way highway between the gut and the brain that's always in constant communication. And when we do something that seems to go against what we feel is right, you're going to start to feel
Mm,
it. Gut, that clenching feeling, anxiety, sense of panic, sense of I gotta sort of get out of here. But when we try and shut that down, right, what happens is we feel sort of closed off and we're out of our body. So it's helping people bring in themselves back to that center again. That I guess
I
that.
particularly love that question, what would love do? Because it's really hard sometimes for clients and for myself to get clear on what is something I really want to do or not do, or is it something I'm just afraid of doing or not doing? And that's very different. And our brains try to trick us into finding comfort.
Mm,
Our
mhm.
brains crave comfort.
Yes,
So yeah.
absolutely.
What would
Yes.
love do? I think is a great question.
Yeah. Thank you. One of my
Yeah,
spiritual teachers I took that from. So, but it's a very, you know,
never.
hefty, sort of question. And like you, we continue to learn, we continue to evolve and continue to be
Mhm.
taught, right? I know for me, it's a daily practice. And that's when I laugh and just say, oh my God, here we are being our human selves again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so brilliant when I die. There'll probably be some final lesson at the last moments, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. So how, knowing what we love about this podcast is that we are also wanting to inspire joy. How do you help your clients connect to a sense of joy when you're working with them?
Well, the things we've been talking about today are really, and you mentioned it too, that connecting with who you really are. And a lot of times it's who you wanted to be when you were younger, who you thought you might be when you grew up.
Yeah.
Um, when you connect to that person, you kind of feel, this is going to sound dorky, but you feel cool again. You feel
Mhm.
relevant again. Even if you had dreams of touring the world as a singer, if you never pursued singing and then later in life you're like, I'm taking singing lessons, and you start like hitting the karaoke circuit, you feel cool again.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter what the outcome of pursuing something that brings you joy is. It's just when you do it, you feel aligned with yourself. You feel like you have purpose, and you like yourself. You feel pride for yourself, and there's nothing that's more joy inducing, I think, than feeling proud of yourself.
Yes. Confident. Yes.
Yes. How about you?
That, you know, I just love the word joy. It just has a sparkling quality to it. It's one of the things when I do an intake with folks, I get very thorough glimpse into their life. I don't want to just know about what you're eating and what your exercise regimen looks like and how you're sleeping and what your connection is with other people. But I want to know what fills you. What is it? And I love what you said about going back to what you loved as a child, because that often is a good indicator. So look at, when was the last time you did something that you really loved and that you really enjoyed? So I keep that
Mm,
very fresh question, for folks. And every client, every time that we're working together, we talk about, so what's something that you're going to do for yourself today, this week, whatever it is.
mm.
But keeping that alive, because you're right, that is our connection to self and to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so great as a health coach that you do that, because I think some people can get very caught up in, your food diary and, your exercise diary, whatever. But no one aspect of our lives can be separated from another.
No.
So your
Yeah.
happiness is going to be tied to how you eat and how you feel about yourself and whether you're aligned to yourself, and you can't separate those things. So you want to tackle all those things.
It's true. And if you think about our lives, it's a set of concentric circles, right? They're all sort of meeting.
Mhm.
How do I feel about finances? How do I feel about what's happening in the world?
Mm,
How do I feel about my in-laws? How do I feel about my relationships? How do I feel about my relationship to my body? It's all
mhm.
intertwined. And then if you kind of, go up from there, you see how all of us are interconnected anyway. So
Yeah.
as you're bringing joy to yourself, hopefully you're bringing joy to other people too.
Yeah, because it's so easy to ruin another person's day with one like sourpuss comment at Starbucks. So easy.
Yes.
So yes, let's all fill ourselves with joy and infect each other.
I love it. What is beauty? What is something that sparks joy for you that you're going to do this week?
This week I am. Oh well, I've been helping a singing client prepare to sing. Shh, don't tell anybody, for their wedding day, just
Oh,
between you and me and everybody listening. Um, and so I think this week we're going to the hall where it's going to happen to practice in that actual space, because that's the best way to do performance coaching, to feel comfortable in the space you're going to perform. And that brings me super joy. He's so excited.
Was it Hamilton, place where it happened? I won't say. That's lovely.
You totally should sing.
And that's not on this podcast, not ever. But that's also, it's because your joy gets magnified that way, right? It's because you're magnified by helping him, bride to be, and you know what that's going to look like. That's lovely.
Totally. How about you?
What am I going to do? I am going to go to a performance of an improv performance, actually, I think on Friday.
Ooh,
so I love watching
fun.
improv. I love comedy. I love laughter. I really live by E.E. Cummings' one of the things he wrote, which is a day without laughter is a day wasted. So yeah, I totally subscribe to that. So that's one thing.
I've heard people say the same thing about singing, but yeah.
Really? Love it. Well, on a future podcast, Judy, you will be singing for us. So
sure. Okay. Well, this has been fun. Well, we encourage all of you watching, listening, to please share your thoughts with us. We really do. We don't want to just sit here talking with each other only over the course of this show. We want to hear what you think, what your questions are, maybe what you would like us to talk about in a future show. You can join our email list. Well, you can comment here wherever you're watching the video and join our email list and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And it's all, our handle is always Two Coaches, One Life. And did I forget anything, Lenore?
I don't think so. Just was going to also add that we will be interviewing interesting guests as we progress as well. It's not going to just be the two of us, right?
Yes.
Really to enliven, again, what it means to live a life of purpose and joy. So from different facets of life, we're going to be interviewing people. So I really hope you can the journey, you know?
Please do. Please do. Let's find out how everybody's doing it. All right, we're signing off. Thank you so much for joining us this time, and we will see you next time.